I think what's really appropriate is we're gonna start out by like having one circle, and that's you. And that's wearing all the hats. You're your own manager, your own publisher, you're your own label, you're your own publicist, you're your own songwriter, and you're your own publisher. That's you. It's all one. So what I always say is don't be in a hurry to, like an accolade. Yeah, I'm a signed artist. Okay, what are they doing for you? Well, nothing, but I'm signed, you know. All right, great. So you don't own your music anymore? Is that what you're telling me? You know, it's just insane. So there's almost more value in retaining rights than there is saying I've assigned the rights, but I don't know why and I don't really know who to. You know, so it's really more about choosing. You can think of it as like choosing your starter lineup. Whether you're on the soccer team or the basketball team or the football team, your starting lineup is the best of the best of the best. So why have the water boy and the roadie and the guy in the parking lot selling the bootleg T-shirts? Why are they on the team? You know, that can't possibly be your best. I would rather be wearing all 12 of those hats and knowing that I'm not going to wear those forever. I'm going to definitely disseminate as I can, but I want somebody taking on this position that's stronger than me, but it's going to work as hard as me and has my best interest at heart, and we're locked tight on good paperwork. Because to me, paperwork just goes in a drawer. We've already agreed to it. Then we just get to work. We don't even have to worry about the paperwork unless there's a question like, hey man, I forget, how many albums, what was the percentage? All right, well let me pull it out and see. And paperwork is just for that protection in case people get cloudy memory. Like, I don't remember signing it. Well, yeah, I mean, you know. So, again, the whole idea is with clarity and with knowledge and with confidence, you're adding to your team. And like we said the other day, if you're adding your publicist or your marketing team or your digital person, these are all paid positions. Most of those people do not work on a percentage. And most attorneys don't work on percentage. I hear every once in a while the attorney works for 5% or whatever. I rarely see that happen. You know, I mean, number one, an attorney's not going to do much work for 5% of nothing. And if you're really giant, you're generating millions, why would you give away 5% of that when you can just pay them that 50 G's a year or whatever? Yeah. So I don't really, the only people that work on a percentage are the manager and the agent. Now the agent is usually 10 to 15%. The manager is usually 15 to 20. I've heard 25%. You know, Elvis Presley paid 50% to Colonel Tom Parker. And if you ask a lot of people, including Elvis, and even Colonel Tom, it's like he'd still be on the turnip truck in Tupelo, Mississippi if it wasn't for me. So, you know, 50% of this is a whole lot better than 100% of that. So, you know, and then Ben McClain was saying the other day about like Disney exorbitantly takes most of the percentages of these kids, you know, because the merchandise, they're unknown kids. Disney puts the machine by, you sell millions of merchandise, you're Hannah Montana, of course they're going to take most of that.
Nickelodeon does the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes without saying. It's almost more of their product than yours. Yes, the kid's face is on it, and they're moving around the TV show, but it's really their product, their creation. They created the demand. And that's really where a lot of this leverage comes into play. And that's where the agent earns their percentage. They're in there working hard to get you paid. So believe me, they've earned their 10 or 15%. And they're trying to raise your value and work closely with your management, your marketing team, and your label. Maybe that's all of you. Steve Aoki is the label and the manager and the producer and the, you know, all of that. But they're trying to work with you because 10% of $1,000 is one thing, 10% of $1 million is a whole nother thing. And if you're headlining these giant festivals these days, these headliners are paid more than ever. It's never been more lucrative for headliners in this industry. Between the sponsorships, the merchandising deals, the ticket prices have gone up, festival prices have gone up. Usually, artists charge more for a festival appearance than they do for a regular performance. Because they figure, okay, you gotta add my name to the poster, you know, people are gonna go, not just because I'm playing, but it's this big event. It's Coachella, it's Lollapalooza, it's, you know, Outside Lands, it's, you know, it's the Warped Tour. It's this big thing, it's bigger than any one act on the show. So, that's your percentage players, is your manager and your agent. All this other stuff is, you know, yes, you can do digital marketing yourself. Yes, you can, you know, book your own shows. Yes, you can manage your own career. Yes, you can be your own publisher. But if you can find a member of your team, if you can find a person out there that makes a whole lot of sense, add them to your team, then that can increase your productivity. You can't do it all forever. I've seen some incredible artists wear a lot of hats, but I've never seen a super successful artist wear them all forever. Impossible. So, Candy, why don't you jump in, building your team now. You got your A players, you got your percentage players. You know, where's that balance between, okay, I can do this by myself, but maybe it's worth paying this other person a little more. They can get more done for me, maybe I can learn from them, but I can also dedicate more of my time to writing the songs and doing the shows or whatever.
Well, one of the things is that, you know, I always tell people, try to get some interns also, to free your time up. You know, you'd be surprised, sometimes you think that they won't help you, but they will. Especially if you find someone that can learn from you. Jay just said the $1 million question, even someone that wants to learn from you. They may want to learn about music, they want to learn an instrument, they want to learn how to sing, or they want to learn how to DJ in the case here. So, you know, you might want to take on an intern also to free, like I said, to free some of your time up. I had someone just hit me up yesterday and say, hey, you know, I want to give you a couple hours a week, learn from you, and also, you know, do some assisting for you. So we talked about, he laid out everyone that's on your team. Now, the other thing is I want to say there's some other like legal ways also for you to get to the same, like Legal Shield. I don't particularly push Legal Shield, but I use Legal Shield's $20 a month. They've got these new forms out now, forms, so that you can do some stuff. I told you guys I DIY'd my trademark, and I just called my Legal Shield, one of the attorneys, and said, hey, can you overlook this paperwork, make sure it's right, you know, and he looked up, he also did the trademark search for me. So there's also other, you know, in today's society, because of where we are with technology, there's a lot of things that you can also use to your benefit, you know, that will help you for a little bit of money as well. Now, I do agree that when you guys first start, don't try to get everybody's going to come up to you, oh my God, I want to be your manager, I want to do your marketing, I want to do your, you know, you guys kind of sit back and maybe as a team of, if you're a band, sit together and say, what is it that we really need right now? What can we do without? Because it is very intoxicating when you guys first start to think, I got my own attorney, I got my own accountant, I got my own this, and then you look at most of these, and I'm around a lot of pro athletes, and most of them are broke for that very reason. They go and they get, you know, I have this car, I gotta have this house, I gotta be an accountant and the business manager, and I gotta buy a business, I got to own, you know, 5 countries.
Like the floor shows.
Exactly. So I want you guys to think of that in the same way. When you first get started, what can you do without? What can you get for free or for an intern? How, you know, who do you need on your team? If you are a person that you do a lot of social media content, get your social media. There are people that do social media management for $20, you know, $20 a week or $100 something real nominal. You know, you want to take that away, but don't look to pay top dollar for everything and then involving so many people that you've diluted any money that you have coming in. So, I know.
And be leery about the people that are going to overpromise.
And
get you on the chart, I gotta get you on the
underdeliver.
magazine, I'm gonna
Right.
get, you know what I mean? You know, balance that, do a little research, I understand, there's a lot of these really sharky sounding, you know, promoters out there that prey on that, I get you on the TV show,
Right.
you know, and they act like guaranteed, especially in the hip hop business, I gotta walk you
Oh,
right
and
into Power 106.
And hip hop
you know?
business is the worst, because I'm just gonna say, it's one thing, I'm gonna pass this down, is that I was consulting, I had a brand client last year that was a hip hop artist, and he paid, I think, $5,000 to be on triple X magazine,
Double XL.
Double XL magazine, and he had this great, beautiful spread, but you know, every time he would talk to someone, he was like, don't forget to mention I'm a double XL, don't forget to mention, and I'm like, guy, they know you paid for that ad, they can tell the difference between something.
Editorial.
Yeah,
and
exactly,
advertising.
exactly, and they know this, and so So you can't like snow everybody, just like I was talking about the buying the Instagram followers. I'm not saying, telling nobody don't buy any, but don't make it obvious. Buy some every, a couple every month. Don't go out and buy 50,000 followers and you have no comments on the last 10 photos. It's obvious. So all of these things count. So yeah, I just definitely on those articles and buying, you know, I'm not saying don't buy anything at all, but make sure you get your money's worth and make
Or
sure.
have a consultant, that's one of the
Exactly.
best things, is to
Yeah.
have an outside party kind of advising all these
Right.
moves and everything. That's probably the best thing you can do, you know, have them, kind of, be your, pit bull.
But yeah.
Okay, I'll just chime in my 2 cents. You know, what I do and my assistant and I do is help people, you know, as PR people, publicists, is create their value and visibility. And we do that through a variety of ways, through media relations, pursuing endorsements, and referring to other people in the industry who help advance careers. Whenever I do a Q&A section like this, I like to start and end with the same thing. And I had to do this too when I became a publicist. I used to work in libraries. That's what I went to school for back in the 1990s. I used to work at academic libraries, some public libraries, and some law libraries. But I was always a patron of the arts. And I didn't realize just how many people I knew in the arts and entertainment. And an actress told me that I casually knew that he had ever thought of making a career change. So that little light went over on my head, and I said, I would like to do it. I'd like to have something I could do that I could earn income from. And I said, so I need to do this. I need to find out what publicists do who have, you know, long-term success. I need to do the same thing. So for us in the arts and entertainment, whether you're on the business side or whether you're the performer side of the artist, you want to find out what those people do that have commercial success and do the same thing. You know, I find what they are is investing in their education, sometimes called artist development. It's an ongoing, lifelong process for all of us. Really, that's what life is about. And the second thing is forming a team, a support team, to help advance your career. So those are 2 very important things. And there are, you know, life is about peaks and valleys. So don't worry when you're in a valley, because you and your team are doing that together. You're going in that valley, you're going to peak up.
Yeah, know when to downsize your team. I mean, ultimately, if all things are great, there might be hundreds of people on your payroll or in your team or this and that. But again, like Candy said, there's lean times. You know, you might think your contract is gonna go forever. You're gonna be up here, and then you get fired, and no one else wants to hire you. You know, I mean, all of a sudden your income went off a cliff. So, you know, like I say, who your core team is, and I would probably call your core team your manager and your agent. If you're lucky enough to have a demand where you're being booked, your agent's gonna help you get paid. Your manager's gonna help make those moves to continue the growth and make sure everything is solid and you keep building demand. Now, obviously, within that, you might need a personal assistant, somebody who handles a lot of stuff, so you're not constantly being tugged at all day long. Look, I need to get ready for the show. I gotta do these interviews. I gotta get ready to get on this plane. I got all this stuff to handle. That little personal person is keeping your, you know, appointments. Okay, remember, an hour and a half from now, you're gonna have to be, you know, down at the bus. So, you know, all of this type of stuff. What are some of those other core members of the team, besides obviously, if you can afford it, an outside marketing person, that you can think of, you know, for an entertainer or, you know?
Well, definitely video. Some of this stuff is if you can afford it. To me, video and photography is very important. Because, you know, one thing I'm gonna tell you something, right before I came here today, my daughter asked me to take a photo of her. I'm like, look, I gotta be over here, Jay's gonna kill me, I gotta call Uber, right? So she said, guess what, I bought me a tripod, yes, I'll take my home photo. Okay, girl. So she set up her tripod to take her photo, which is the one that's on Instagram today. So also find ways, y'all know I'm all about the content, find ways to either find a videographer or photographer that can travel with you guys and say, hey, we'll give you a free ticket in the show. You don't have to video us the whole time, maybe just for an hour or maybe during a particular time in our set, and then maybe some stills. So do some bargaining.
Yeah.
And
Maybe you can throw them an outside client, or as soon as you can
Exactly.
pay them, now you might do something deferred.
Bartering is an old adage, it's an old art form, but it's still current right now. You'd be surprised what people will barter for. So-
Everybody needs something.
Right, that's
If you need
very
them,
good
there's an
point.
exchange.
Right, and video and photography is real important, social media content is important. And you
Especially
can-
with digital cameras.
Right.
Putting it on Craigslist, there's 50 photographers are gonna post up, so know what you can offer them.
Right.
You can't pay them right up front, what's
going to another state, say, I'm gonna be in Iowa or LA tomorrow. Do you guys know any LA photographers? Even if you're not gonna use all those people, now you got somebody either for the next time, or even say, I need a barter. You know, we'll give you a free ticket into the whatever Lollapalooza if you'll video us for an hour or.
Music as well as your own. So I need someone who has strong relationships.
Okay, new manager, booking agent, what else?
Yeah, booking agent and a strong publicist.
And a strong publicist, got one right here.
Yeah.
So I'm
Like a
gonna
top
say
lady.
this on the manager, I'm gonna leave that alone in case your manager's watching us on YouTube. I don't want them to tell you that I would do
No,
this
they
prior
they
you.
even know it. Like they told me, they're
Okay.
like, you need someone who's even stronger to take you to the next level. We'll be here creatively as your core team,
Right.
Yeah.
but you need to step it
Yeah,
up.
an artist that grows,
Exactly. man.
there's
They want
roles
me to
within
go,
that
They want me
team.
to get big, right?
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like we always say, the real manager is the fire starter. He's the rainmaker. He's the one, or she's the one that's really making S happen. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one thing to manage what's already there. It's another thing to go out and like open giant doors
Get it
and,
to everyone.
yeah, just literally make it rain when there's no clouds in the sky,
Mhm.
you
Right.
know?
I love that. So I was gonna say, what you were already thinking, I would take, eventually, when you do find the manager, you think that right person, don't get rid of this person because they've been loyal. And
Mhm.
like you said, creatively, but maybe make them a creative
The
director or
road
something.
manager, their
Or a road manager, there's
producer,
another way to,
their-
right,
Yeah.
cause I'm all about
Production.
loyalty, I like
Yeah.
that.
I won't, I'll never just, if
Right.
someone helped me get to
No,
like.
loyalty's
this
super,
point,
super
never pour
important.
Someone else.
I mean, we've all seen artists jump to, like I was just saying in the last whole panel, the hardest part is the work in the beginning. When we get somebody from 0 to 50, the sharks and the barracudas all
They
come
start
out.
appearing.
They want you when now there's money on the table. They don't wanna do the hard work. They do not wanna rub two sticks together and try and get a little spark going. But once the little flames are spouting out, they're in there telling you, she can't handle it, he's bad for you, he's stealing money from you, they're the horrible, and I can put some money in your pocket right now, just forget about them. They come out of the woodwork.
It's like that guy, that bald guy, what was his name? That was.
Steve Lobel.
Yeah.
He's
exactly.
got
He was
storage,
great.
now the
He's-
storage is coming back.
Exactly, he's saying that
All these
people
hot
get
shots
amnesia.
wanna steal them away.
Yeah, people get amnesia really quick in this generation. They forget who got them to that place, and then they're gone, and then they're nobody because you lose the person that actually gave a shit.
Well, that's it.
So-
They were foundational, they're almost like a family member. Now, interesting, anybody know who Troy Carter is? Anybody heard the name Troy Carter? Troy Carter, came up with Will Smith and all that in Philly and ended up managing Eve, and then he met a little girl named Gaga. And Gaga took off, you know,
Yeah.
and he started a company called Atom Factory, and now he's been the head of Spotify, and he just stepped down, he just left Spotify. But Troy Carter, I was listening to a great interview with him, and he was talking about in there, when he met Gaga, she walked in the door, he knew she was a star when she wasn't a star yet. No one even knew who she was, but between the way she carried herself and the creativity and just her confidence, and it's not an ego thing, it's just sometimes you know, like you're in the presence of somebody like Prince or Michael or someone's like, oh, wow, I don't know who that is, but there's something going on over here. Well, they asked him, they said, when you got Gaga up to that point, she started having hits and Interscope and everything's popping, then anybody trying to steal you away? He said, every day. Every day, somebody was trying to pull her away from me. Who's this guy? Troy Carter, he's a nobody. He's not managing anybody else. You need to come over, Irving Azoff, come over here to this, you know, the collective of the firm, or, you know, we can do so much for you. And he just said what we always talk about. The hardest work is in the beginning. Nobody wants you till somebody wants you, and then everybody wants you. And if you're just, I've seen it, people jump to another manager because of all the promises, and that manager might have already had a bigger client, and that's where their bread is buttered. All of a sudden, they've kind of left you aside because something's not going right with your career. Now where are you? The person who was there, or the foundation, it's very much like a marriage, very much like a family. You know, and there's family issues and there's marriage issues, but you gotta find the rock solid parts of it.
So I just wanted to finish my thought with you. Number one is you do have your EPK though, right?
Yep.
Okay, so on the EDM, on the booking, there are a lot of people that book DJs and that book that, you know, the only thing I would do is start asking around, start getting some recommendations, and then start sending them your EPK, because I think you do need, for what you're doing right now, a booking agent. So, and don't try not to put all that on your manager, because that's what a lot of times people do. They wanna put everything on the man, you gotta book this, you gotta create that, you gotta, look at my contracts, they wanna make you everything, yeah. So, who else had a team? Okay, what's yours?
So we just recently switched managers in the kind of the same situation where our old guy's like, I don't have the right resources for you guys anymore. You guys kind of need to step up a little, and I can't provide that for you. So we have Interline Agency from Hollywood, Damon Marino. So he's with us now. And with that, he kind of brought his little collective in. Problem is I think our biggest struggle right now is a solid booking agent. The one that he has on his team, I hear she's very great, but she's only booking Russell, and it's acoustic, which I don't like that that's how we're being represented. The one we have in Montana, he did a great job booking us in Montana, but he's stepping down. He's done booking. So it sucks when we want to, I mean, we all do. We want to be known as a solid rock group, but it's, we're having a hard time getting booked as a rock group, not an acoustic group, which in that case, that's usually just Russell.
So, are they misrepresenting you guys from a brand perspective? Because that's almost what it kind of sounds like a little bit.
Are they just going with the
Just the
easy-
booking agent,
easy
yes.
lane?
Our manager gets it. Our manager's really cool. I guess we haven't had her for very long, so it's kind of hard to itch too hard because it's only been 4 months.
So so let me just say this one thing, and I know these guys probably have something. So don't look at it as they're working for you.
Of course.
So don't look at it, but anyway, basically, I just really feel that you need to have a sit down conversation, and you guys need to tell them what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you need, because otherwise, the rest of you guys are going to be at some point, this is going to turn to resentment.
Exactly.
It's their that's what it's going to be. It's okay. Well, what about the rest of us? What are we doing here? If that's the case, you can almost book him as a solo act. What do you need us for? So, I mean, I think that's a conversation that needs to be had because they are working for you, and I would like to see. What I'm saying? It can just be a conversation, but.
Now, maybe they say, look, if they were upfront and said, look, we can book this solo acoustic thing easier, let's get some dollars coming in, let's get a little momentum, and then our plan is to expand it into the group, then that's fine, but as long as they say it up front. If you're expecting the group and they're just coming up with that and there's no discussion, then that can be the resentment.
Well, the tough thing too is that we've obviously, when we showcased yesterday, we are down, our drummer's back home, and he couldn't come. So we had to do a two-man deal, which people know we can do that, we can interchange there. The problem is that they hear that now. It's like, well, they probably are cool with doing more of these. They can do acoustic, we should just do more acoustic. No, I don't want to do that. I want to be the one who buy a video game camera, which we can do.
Right.
It's tough when that's.
I know there's a question, but just let me chime in for 2 seconds really fast. I'm going to propose 2 solutions, and this is what we've done for our clients. One is always be in communication with the people you're working with. I know you're going through that relationship right now is struggles, but everybody we work with, at least once a week, either they contact us or we contact, even if there's nothing new, at least we're in constant communication, we know where we're at on the same page. Even if we have a disagreement about something, about how to present something or do something, at least we're in that constant communication weekly. And then, in time we can work those issues out. And my proposed solution is for artists we work with who are below the line, meaning they're not having a regular city income, is that there's an organization called NACA. It's a college organization. And booking agents buy memberships. They're regional memberships or national memberships you can buy. They're pretty pricey. Most people will buy a regional membership. And I've known some artists they'll sell a membership to anybody who can act as their own booking agent. And you can do that. And you can buy a regional membership. Colleges hire live entertainment all the time. You can buy a regional and act as yourself. And the money is not initially a lot, a couple $100 the first, maybe, once or twice, but after they like you, but after the college gets to know you and they like you, then it increases to a few $100s and it'll go up. So you buy that regional membership and you book yourself on these college campuses, and then you get a presence among booking agents. All the relationships my assistant and I over the years have had with different people in different realms of the arts and entertainment. I think booking agents are the ones that are really hard to find somebody consistently for people who are below the line. We work with a couple of artists who are above the line, but they also are actors. And right now, their bread and butter is acting. They're on television shows. They haven't really explored that avenue of singing except just a little bit. And so they will probably have a problem getting a large booking agency to book them because they've established themselves as actors already, or they want to pursue, singing. So I know that the struggles for people who are below the line getting a good booking agency or booking agent, to help them, to support them, because a lot of those ones are looking, for ones who are already established, who know that there's going to be a big ticket for them. So those that are below line, think about memberships like NACA, where you can build your presence and among colleges and then among the industry itself with booking agencies and then they might be more willing to book age. I know somebody who did that up in a West Coast subscription, and she was doing really well, and she decided she had a baby after a couple of years and decided to focus on her family. Her priorities changed, but that worked for her during those first couple of years.
NACA?
How do you spell that?
NACA.org. It's a NACA.
National Association of College Activities.
Yes.
NACA. Thank you so much for that, because in Hawaii, we have various agents, and we tend to find, because I've been performing in Hawaii for about 25 years, we tend to find that it's political. If someone's related to the agent, they'll give them more of the gigs, and we get the leftovers. So what we try to do as my rock band, we try to approach venues ourselves and try to book through the management there, and just set up our gigs and do our own social media. I guess my relevant question would be, how do you think as publicists is the best way, like I know back home, one old Hawaiian guy who gets a lot of gigs, he calls everybody every day to invite them to the gig, and that's how they build the fans. I don't have time for that because I have a day job.
Well, that's what email lists are for now.
Yeah.
So email list is best, do you think?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, so build the email list. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else got a question?
I don't have time. So who else does anyone else have any like a team issue that they're having?
I want to
Try to
build a
build our
rock
team.
band. I have all the music written, and I don't know where to start.
Figure it out.
Like I was saying, I think the main thing is to have the template.
Never mind.
If you can show them a demo, because if I'm a guitarist or a drummer and I value my time, I'm not gonna be sold on the dream, I'm gonna be sold on, okay, I hear your demo, I see what you're talking about, I got your vision, I'm willing to join. So you kinda need to give them something tangible to look at as opposed to like, yeah, I wanna rock the world, man, we wanna play the Rose Bowl. Oh, okay, well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
So if I give them an EPK and I play my music for them, and I get to the point in the conversation where, we're talking about, if we can make it happen, I don't know if it's my area, if I'm not, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Where are you at?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Well, I would say you start with a core member, and there's probably more guitarists than any of them. So you start with a guitarist who really gets your vision, it'd be easier to find a bass player. And then, I don't know if that drummer is a more electronic drummer or a more, acoustic drummer. Yeah, but I would start with the core member,
Yeah.
because you and a guitarist can almost do the show and have the bass and the drums almost on, on tape, so to speak. So you're gonna find your bass player and your drummer a lot easier if you got half the band together. And you're gonna find that guitarist if you've got, you showing him the blueprint. And it's not so vague, it's like, I'm not sure what this is, or I see what you're trying to do, but I'm not hearing that you can pull that off. You know what I mean? You almost wanna be able to show them steps along the way. In other words, like we say, nobody wants you till everybody wants you. The further you can kind of show somebody, like there's a lot of people in Hollywood walk around with scripts, every waiter's got a script, but someone who's actually gone out and shot a little short movie is way ahead of the game. Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, they all made it because they went out and shot a damn $5,000 movie. They didn't talk about it, they didn't shove a script in everybody's, plate of food. They're like, no, here's a link, I shot a movie. It's Reservoir Dogs, check it out, I mean, obviously it's not easy, none of this is, but we always say, execute, go do something
Right.
Do it.
rather than talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
The talkers are way too many.
Right, and I was gonna say, even if you just had a tryout, use your Instagram or your social media and say, we're having a tryout for band members. And dig them out that way, dig them out through Craigslist, and then weed them out from there. Even if you just had a one-day tryout, and maybe you pick 1 or 2 people. You know, it does a couple of things. It gets your social media popping, number 1 and 2. And also, like I said, you don't wanna, I know it's hard to start from scratch, but basically that's what you're doing. So have a tryout, have an audition, you know, Echo, Savage, you know, audition, or whatever the name's gonna be. And then do a tryout, post it all the way to your social media, do some ads,